Good evening, everybody.
Welcome.
Okay, let's get our
Good to be back in
camera set.
Boquete.
We changed how
Back
many
here with
people.
you
There we
guys.
go. You move this way, that way. My
There
wall
we
is in the center. Why don't you put my printer down? Sorry, there we go. Yeah, you can't see the sandblast with the printer up. Sandblast Islands. Hello, everybody. How is everybody? Please enter your name and where you are from in the chat. We know there's many more of you on here that introduced yourself.
We have a few upstate New York people. That's cool. That's
Ooh.
new. Oscar and I were just in Pennsylvania visiting my family. It was chilly, but starting to get those spring green buds on the trees.
Hey, David. Good practicing your Spanish. That actually does look right. Luke Carter.
Got some Canadians on tonight.
James and Beth from Texas. And we got Michigan, Tom and Deb.
Sylvia and Volcan.
Oops. Lost all the chat. We're starting in 1 minute, folks, here. It's 1 minute to 7. So we're going to have a fun night tonight talking with some expats that already live in Panama. And you guys are going to question them about their lives, what they do, why they live here. We're talking about Chiriquí Province tonight. Next week, we're going to talk about all the different beach locations people keep hearing about.
Yep. Yeah, tonight we have some awesome guests on from all over the Boquete district, mostly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to bring up one thing. Oh, I can bring it up here. We're not, Megan, say something.
Yeah. So Boquete is a large district. I think a lot of people just think of downtown Bajo Boquete when they think of Boquete, but we have a lot of different sub-districts within the district, all the way up in the mountains, down in downtown, a little bit closer to David, everywhere from 700 meters up to 1,600 meters. So huge range in microclimates, in types of neighborhoods. So it'll be good to hear from some of these expats that live in some of those different areas tonight.
Perfect. So, like we said, we have Q&As every Thursday night. If you go to our website, which is retireinpanamatours.com, there it is. You can click on the Q&A and you'll see what this lineup is. So tonight we're meeting expats that live in Chiriquí Province, and basically why I'm not going to claim to be the guy that knows the most here, but somewhere close to half of the expats that move, the retired expats that move here, move to Chiriquí Province. And I don't know if that number is 40% or 60%, but it's somewhere in there. So that's why we're clumping Chiriquí Province together. And next week we're going to talk about the beaches.
Yeah,
then,
second most popular
area. Then what are we doing the week after? Are we allowed to show them this, Megan?
No, don't.
Oh, no, we can't?
Special announcement,
okay,
surprise?
Sorry. That's a special, it's over there. So the week after, which is the 2 weeks from
24th.
Today, thank you. 2 weeks from today, we are doing a special Q&A. The only difference to this one is you have to be registered for it. We're just not letting anyone on YouTube or Facebook come in. So please, if you haven't registered, you're going to want to be here. Special announcements we're making. It's 2 weeks from today. I just clicked the event on that. You can click on the link in there.
And any of the comments, you'll see it.
Yeah, and get yourself registered for this event. Hey, John, how are you doing? And alrighty, so we are Retire in Panama Tours. Is that who we are, Megan? And we're going to start off the show very quickly. But Megan, you want to tell them who you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Megan. I'm from Pennsylvania. I came to Panama in 2018 with the Peace Corps. Fell in love with the country. Met my now husband, Oscar, who is in Panama City, starting a tour today. We have an awesome group of people from mostly U.S. and Canada this week that are going to see all of the country this week, meet Oscar or meet Rod and I when they get to this area of the country in a few days. And now we do mostly this. I learned so much about Panama back in Peace Corps, traveling all over. And now we live in Boquete. Our whole team is based here. But we get to show a lot of people from all over the whole country, get to show them Boquete. And we do these small group tours. We also offer some other a la carte services for you guys. And we love to show people why Boquete, why Panama is so special, and help you make your move here and make it smooth and fun and easy.
Perfect. My name is Rod Larrabee, and I moved to Panama 13 years ago from Vancouver, Canada. And within a few months, I'd met my now business partner, Oscar Pena, as we just mentioned him, who is just starting a tour tonight with a group of 16 wonderful people. And Oscar, 13 years ago, Oscar was my tour guide. My relocation guy when I moved to Panama. So he helped me get out of some trouble I was in because I didn't come here knowing anybody. So I had the wrong people in my court, basically. So he put me in touch with the right immigration person, put me in touch with the right insurance people, helped me with a vehicle, helped me get my driver's license, and just basically did everything that we do in our current business now. So we started this business offering small group tours, and that was the whole premise behind our business. You won't see us unloading a 48 passenger bus with 30 to 35 guests. We're in that little van that we can go anywhere. We have anywhere between 10 and 16 people at a time. Usually a higher number of people in the high season and lower in the low. So our small groups is our basic signature, and we are extremely qualified in what we do now. Right now there are 2 people with the group, but Monday there'll be 3 of us, and then there'll be 4 of us for the rest of the week. So we spend a lot of time, and our group gets exposed to a lot of expertise, basically, on our groups. And one of the biggest things we do is our after tour support, where when you decide to move to Panama, we personally do this with you. Like, we set up these Zooms with you, and we'll help you build your checklist. Our phone lines are always open to any of our tour guests that have moved here. We're going to help you find a place to live. We're going to help you get your driver's license and just basically guide you through the whole process. So that is what we do. We have some tours, which is unusual. We were sold out. We've had 2, one last minute unfortunate cancellation. And so we can fit a single on our May 15th tour now. So if you were thinking of it and waiting for that, the notice just went out. And we can fit a couple on our June tour who realized their nephew's graduation was the same weekend, and they moved to September. So we now have a spot for a couple in June. And next fall, September through December, we have space, and next year, of course. So anyways, that's who we are, and we're going to get started. We are interviewing, we're going to talk to different people throughout Chiriquí Province. Now, Chiriquí Province, this map doesn't actually show Chiriquí Province, does it? But let me show you. Basically, I'm going to put something I can draw on. There we go. This will be way better. So you guys know what Panama looks like, right? Yep. So Chiriquí Province is basically, I should be drawing in black. Go here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically this area in here. And it includes places that you've heard of, like Boquete, Volcan, David, Delega, Palmyra, all places like that. And honestly, since we've been doing the group tours, our numbers are above 40% of the people that take our tour end up somewhere in Chiriquí Province. We got people living down the beach who were going to be on this call, but just they had to go somewhere else tonight, so they'll be on the next one, that live south of David in right down along here. Okay. So you can live on the beach in Chiriquí Province. A large smeltering, a good majority of them live in this area right here, which is downtown Boquete, where Megan, Oscar, and I live, to Caldera, what we call a checkpoint, El Francis, and Alto Boquete areas. And we're going to talk to people that live in that area tonight. So let's bring on Megan. Do you want to introduce our first guest?
Who's first?
Oh, Ellen and Dan.
Okay. Yeah, so tonight we have Ellen and Dan. They'll be first tonight. So they've been living here at least 2 years, maybe. Tell me if that's right. But they came on to our house, and now we're living in Volcancito, which is a beautiful area just like 10 minutes away from downtown Moquete with gorgeous views of the mountains. So welcome, Dan and Ellen. Tell us a little bit more about your story moving here and when you lived here in Moquete.
We live on Volcancito Road, about 2 kilometers off of the highway, and it's the intersection where the Welcome Center is, and Volcancito Road goes off from that. We've been here about 19 months.
I was close. I said 2 years.
It's coming up. It's coming up. So what made you originally, like, where are you from in the States?
I'm from North Carolina, but we moved here from South Carolina after having lived in several different places.
Including upstate New York.
What made you decide on Panama?
It is retiree friendly. It allows pets, and not every country does. It met our requirements of being warm enough yet cool, and having mountains, and being affordable.
Yeah. And did you just pack your bags and end up here and move? How did that work?
I wish.
No, not exactly. It was a long process. From the time we decided to leave the United States till the time we got here, it was probably 6 years or more. We looked at a lot of places all over the world, visited a few places, and then wound up deciding this was the place to go. I tell the story that probably a year beforehand, we were 100% sure we were moving here. Ellen was 110%, and I was 90%, which made us 100%. But we when we decided on Panama, Ellen also, she mentioned the things. Healthcare is also was a big concern for us. At our age, we're not old, but we're at a point where that's something to consider. And the other places that we looked at either didn't have as good a healthcare or didn't have as accessible a healthcare as we do here in the area in Boquete. We didn't want to live in Panama City. We didn't want to live in a big city. We didn't want to live with that heat. We wanted to get back up in the mountains. We went to school in the mountains in college. We'd lived in the mountains before, and this met almost everything that we wanted the country and the area met almost everything we were looking for.
Now, we wanted a place where there was enough English spoken that we could get by, because when we moved, our Spanish was awful, and mine is barely better. Danny's is really good. We also wanted a large enough expat community to have a support system, because we have no family here, and we've met people that are chosen family. And we also wanted good infrastructure, and the roads here are decent for the main roads are really good. Some of the other roads, not so good.
As long as I've lived here, I sometimes want to go out in the middle of the night and dig holes in my road to help slow down traffic. The more holes and bumpy the road is, the slower the people go. Or maybe picking rumble strips up.
Maybe
more recently, they've been much more responsive to getting things repaired and getting a lot of things done. I'm sorry?
You guys chose to live in Volcancito, and as you were told, there can be some issues of water and power in Boquete area. How do you handle those?
Well, we just this week finished having installed a battery backup system
Right
in the
on.
house. And so we resolved that because it is something you have to get used to.
It's irritating. That's what I find it irritating without it.
It is, but you learn to live with it. When we first moved here, the power would go out, and we would get all upset. And now it's kind of like, oh well, sometimes it would come back in 30 seconds, sometimes in 5 minutes. There've been a few extended times, but you learn to live with it. The area we live in Volcancito, water is more of an issue, to be honest. But they're addressing that. The Aqueducto, the organization that does our water, is in the process of putting in a brand new water pressure tank and water system in there now. They've sent pictures just today about the work that's being done. So that's being addressed in our area. And we hope in the next couple months it'll be less of a concern. But you just learn to live with it. I mean, if it goes out, then you learn to manage, and you wait a little while. You get a little more patient than you might think you could be, and it finally comes back, and you move on.
And we always keep bottled water on hand, as a just in case, because we can live without electricity more easily than we can live without water.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And were you going to install a water tank at your rental?
We did. We did about a year ago. The home we live in, you guys have been up here. It's a very large home, relatively large home, but it's a Panamanian style home. And one of the things that most of the Panamanian homes is they don't have water backup systems as a rule in them. But we installed one, and it works, fabulously. We've not had issues with since then. Since we put it in, when we know the water's out, you don't wash. You don't wash your clothes that day, or you might wait a few hours before you take a shower, or you don't water your plants, and you manage.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're like us and you have access to agricultural water, we bring that in the house so we can flush the toilets. We don't use it for anything else.
Yeah. Our home is on our home is on a farm. We're surrounded on 3 sides by fincas, and so we have that advantage that some homes don't.
And the street we live on is a range of everything from very small casitas to, oh my God, it looks like a palace. There are expats, there are Panamanians, and the president is actually building a house about 5 kilometers on up the road from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should really be getting lots of water and power pretty soon.
Actually,
Yeah, we expect it. We expect the road will stay paved pretty well.
Totally. Probably double laned,
yeah,
that's true.
the water we're not so sure about because there are multiple water providers on Volcancito, which is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Coming from an area where there is like one.
Now, one of the things you asked about why we chose here. We love the fact that I can go to the market every day and get fresh fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. Just about every day, just about everything's in season. Right now, citrus is a little bit scanty, but everything else is out there. So you don't have to, it's unnecessary to have to go to the grocery store and have to buy processed or packaged, fruits and vegetables. You can get all that here at a much better price and much better thing. Pineapples taste like pineapples here, and fruits taste like fruits, other fruits.
Do you have vegetables?
The farmers around us grow vegetables, and sometimes they share and sometimes they don't. Sometimes when they're growing zucchini, I try to find a way to very nicely say, oh, please, no, thank you. I hate zucchini. But there are fresh vegetables all around us, and we have the guy that goes up and down the street selling fruits and vegetables. There's the guy at the foot of the hill that's selling mostly fruit, sometimes vegetables also. But, and you know, that's one of the great things about Panama is there aren't preservatives. So you have to buy in limited quantities, only what you can eat within a day or two, except there's this one lady at the market uptown, and we'll go to, she's the lady we go to most frequently, and we try to use Spanish with her, and she appreciates that. So we'll go in and we'll ask for a papaya, and we'll get one for the birds and then one for us. And she asks, do you want it for today or the next day? Or sometimes we'll tell her we want it for Thursday. So she'll pick out one that's not ripe yet, and she says, wait till Thursday to cut it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. For those of you, a lot of people are asking where exactly. So this is the map of Bajo Boquete, lower, like the main street, lower Boquete. Now, if you scroll in, this is the area of Volcancito and Santa Lucia. And
Yeah,
they
we're a little
live
bit of
in this area here. I'm not going to exactly point it out, but
Yeah, we're just above that where it says Santa Lucia. If you go straight up to Volcancito Road, that's about where our house is.
Yeah, and Volcancito is not to be confused with Volcan, which is a different town all the way on the other side of the volcano.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a long way.
Right.
You know,
this area, go ahead, Dan.
I'm sorry. Another thing is there's so many activities to do here. I mean, there's, you know, if you want to hike, you can do everything from easy hikes through the library park, or you can take an 8-hour one-way hike from here up to the top of the volcano if you want. You can, you know, I played pickleball, I played padel, we played disc golf this morning.
And he plays at Santa Lucia Country Club, which is open to anybody. So if we could walk through the jungle, we'd be able to walk straight into Santa Lucia, but we have to go down and back up.
Yeah, so there's many things. There's music, you know, 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week, you can hear free music at whether it's a restaurant or a bar or someplace. There's, you know, there's no lack of things to do here, even though it's, you know, people might think, oh, it's a small, you know, mountain, you know, country town. There's no lack of things to do here to stay busy.
You guys do a lot of volunteering too. Tell us about the groups you work with there.
I volunteered just for Buenos Vecinos de Boquete, which is an organization that feeds hungry people here. And right now we are serving about 600 people. And that's roughly 135, 140 families. Some of these people are elderly. Some of them are families with up to 22 people, and it's 3 generations in the family that all live together. Some people are very young but are handicapped, and all of these people cannot provide for themselves. And we have a vetting process where we find out, you know, what they make a month, whether they have a car, whether somebody else can help them, you know, somebody in the family, and they need our help. And we could actually service at least twice, maybe 3 times the amount of people that we do serve. There's no food bank here in Panama.
The other thing, I also volunteer with them, and then I volunteer with Boquete Health and Hospice, which is the only hospice in the country. It's a little bit different than people might be used to in the States or in North America. But we do as much as we can. We provide free medical equipment, free support. We can't, by law, we can't provide medical services because those are protected jobs and protected occupations in this country. But we do everything up to and including that we can throughout the Chiriqui, throughout the Boquete area. Not all of Chiriqui, but we cover a good bit of Boquete area.
And there's Amigos de Animales people could volunteer with. I mean, there are more volunteer opportunities here than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it certainly is.
And it's a great way to get connected and involved
It
in the
sure
community.
is.
Anyone
And, you
want to type your questions in the chat? Go ahead anytime as we're chatting here.
Go ahead.
Mhm. Anything else, you guys?
Going to these expat sponsored events normally, I mean, like the music scene, that's a great way to meet people as well. That's how we've met some of our closest friends here. And actually, we're going to the Boquete Community Players Phantasmagoria, I think that's what it is, about Poe tomorrow night. And we're looking forward to that. The Boquete Community Players put on, it's a hometown theater group, and they put on some really nifty plays and other events. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, we're going to carry on talking with our expats. We're going to get to all the questions at the end, guys, unless I see one pop up that's specific to Dan and Ellen, but the other ones are all fairly general. So we thank you guys for joining us tonight and helping us anytime we ask.
Anytime, let us know.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting us. We appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
Thank you guys.
Very much.
We'll see you soon.
Now, our next expat, yes, we have single people too that move here. And
Rob would know. He just threw quite the party last week.
Yes, yeah. Carol was at my house crashing the party. But anyways, yeah.
Rob threw a big singles party.
Great party. Great
Yeah.
party.
I had a party for all the single people that have taken our tour. We had a great time. But Carol moved here. It hasn't been quite a year yet. So it was about a year since she started coming to begin with, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
And Carol lives right downtown. Like literally, when you say downtown Boquete, that's your building. Okay.
Hi, Carol. Welcome.
Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So
I guess I'll see Dan and Ellen at the Phantasmagoria tomorrow night. So
going to the same event.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So I guess tell us a little bit about where you're from, how your move here went, what it's like living in downtown Boquete.
Sure. Well, first of all, I love it downtown. I think I've never lived right downtown before. And all my life, I've kind of wondered what it would be like to be in the second floor above a storefront. And I think for much of my life, the fantasy was it would be in New England, where I spent a lot of years. But now I just realized, well, here I am, and that's what I'm doing. So I most recently am from Rhode Island. I lived there for 25 years before moving here. And for most of those years, I was planning to have a Latin American retirement. And I did also look at Ecuador, but felt that it had become unsafe, which is unfortunate because it's a beautiful country. When I came here in December of 2023 on the tour, it was just the time of year that was the bajareque, the misty rain and the rainbows. And one morning I stood outside of my rental unit and I looked up at the rainbow and I decided this is it. The climate is right. It's the right size of a place. Rod helped me vet places to rent. So I actually rented the unit I'm in sight unseen. I looked at it on Facebook Marketplace and I had been sending Rod, questions about places that looked interesting. And he gave me a pretty good sense of this place. So I put down a deposit and came for my first visit a year ago in March. Started leasing it in April and was back and forth until I did my permanent move in August. And overall, the move went pretty smoothly. The one thing I was concerned about, I have two 10-year-old cats, and that was the one honest stress point for me, was getting all the paperwork in at the right time and hoping that the cats behaved themselves on the plane, which they did. My daughter came down with me to help me move the cats because we had them in the cabin, and Copa Airlines really did make it pretty easy. So all in all, it worked out very well. While I was in Panama City getting the cats moved, I went to the embassy and had them do whatever they do with your driver's license. To, like, I guess they stare at it and stamp something that it's real. And that way, when I went to get my Panamanian driver's license, I didn't have to take a road test, which was a goal of mine. So it's been, I guess, a bit over a year that I've been coming here and staying in this apartment, which I just love. It's there's a little bit of noise. To me, it's like living in a college dorm that maybe some nights you'll hear music from different sources wafting, but really quite manageable. And I like being able to get up in the morning with my coffee, sit on the balcony, see people walking down the hill to work, see the school kids walking to the school, because I'm pretty much right across from the church, the little Catholic school there. And it gives me a nice feeling that, there's stuff going on.
Yeah, lovely. I
Cool.
love that. Should we get into some of the questions we have here? We have quite a few coming in.
What do you? Sorry, that's the noise you were talking about. I also live on Main Street, folks. And
I don't hear that.
well, it's a motorcycle gang. It'll be up there in a few minutes.
They'll be down here. They'll be down here.
One thing I mentioned that I know you also do now, you're involved with some charity stuff. I don't know why I wasn't going to say charity, but it is. But tell me about the organization that you've got.
Well, it's very, very easy to get involved here. And I think one thing I really want to stress about moving here and being with expats is you're really with a lot of people that have decided to make a positive change in their life. And I think because of that, a lot of people volunteer as a part of it, that they want to be involved in a community. And there's really great support within the community for each other. I joined the Rotary Club, and I am now their meeting coordinator, and I do audiovisual support and create the slides for the speakers. So that uses some skills that I had in my career, but just to the extent where it doesn't exhaust or frustrate me, doing it for a meeting every 2 weeks. And then getting to meet people who are involved in some really very cool projects like midwife training for Indigenous people, shelters for abused women. They're starting a trade school for high school graduates. So a lot of really cool stuff that you get to learn about. I also do some volunteer work with cats because when I was moving here, I noticed that there was a woman, Kirsten Cares for Cats, who was originally from Rhode Island. So I just messaged her and introduced myself. And I've ended up taking on a project for her where I've funded building a pretty large cat shelter. There's a group of 8 cats that used to be owned, but their owner died. They became street cats. Kirsten's group paid to have them all neutered, and we're in the process of trapping them and getting them into the new catio, the giant catio. It's probably 20 by 20. And so what I do every morning is I get up, I have my coffee, I sit on the balcony for an hour, go through my phone, read the news. Then I go down to the cat feeding station and feed the 4 cats we haven't trapped yet. And I walk to the Super Guru and do my daily shopping for anything I need for the house. And then I'm home and I'm ready to start my day. So it's quite pleasant.
Great. I got someone here, like a great question. Maybe you can answer this one there, Carol. What was your biggest challenge once you arrived here?
Boy, I don't think there were. I can't really think there were a lot of challenges. It's small things that maybe there's a product you like that you can't find, or silly things like, well, drinking coffee here is very different. I mean, coffee is a gourmet experience. Each coffee has its own flavor. So it's more like wines. It's not like as strong as you can make it to wake you up in the morning. And I think maybe socially, the thing that surprised me, because I also lived in Honolulu, and the Hawaiian culture, because they make, I think possibly because they make a lot of their money on tourism, they kind of have a packaged indigenous culture that they present to you. So it's very easy to learn about. Whereas to me, the indigenous culture here is still something of a cipher. I haven't quite, I think I figured out kind of the vibe of the expat community and some of the vibe of the Panamanian community, thanks to some wonderful Panamanian friends I have, but I just haven't quite figured out the whole country, the part of it that's indigenous yet.
So this next question is for you too, because I know you're involved also in the local community, and you,
Yeah.
after less than a year, have made Panamanian friends.
Yeah.
What do the Panamanian people think of expats like you? Do they embrace you? Do they want you to go home? Like what's it
No,
like?
I don't think, I've never met anyone that wants me to go home, or had any kind of prickly hatred, divisive. It's it really sort of more I thou. I mean, I think we tend to get along. I've got a range of Panamanian friends, from people who are laborers to a woman who's part indigenous who has her own business, and a woman who's a college professor, and we all get along. People come from different worlds, kind of different careers and stuff, and it's just like dealing with people. And I think that every one of them is very open in dealing with me, in terms of helping me with my Spanish or whatever it is, So I feel very comfortable. There's no sense of discomfort, or there's difference, but there's not otherness in any kind of a scary way.
Oh, great. I got for someone who's been here longer, down in Allen, I got a question for you guys. I brought you back up, by the way. Now, since you're retired, are you still getting a Social Security check that you live here? Or
Yes, we get our Social Security checks, but we have them deposited in the United States in our banks there.
Yeah, and then you just transfer it over whenever you need it?
Same.
Like transfer funds over, and that's how you do it too, Carol?
Yep, same.
You can live anywhere in the world, folks, and you will receive your Social Security check. They have a plan here if you want, and most people don't do it because it's the bureaucracy to do it. It's kind of big, that they will even deposit your Social Security into your Panama bank account.
Yeah.
But I don't know many people that do it because it's just kind of a lot of red tape to go through. It takes several months. You got to go to the Costa Rican, Panama embassies, and why? Just have it. Just don't mess with something that's working.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I have a friend who does that, and it's fine with getting her check, but Social Security, if you're living out of the U.S., is going to want to send you a letter every year for proof of life.
Every 2
And
years, you got to fill out your proof of life forms, and you got to get that letter somehow.
Yep.
if you get it, yeah, if you have it sent here, 3 months later, there may be a yellow sticky note on the window at the post office. I just called Social Security 2 weeks ago and spoke with a very nice woman and changed my mailing address to my power of attorney's address up in Rhode Island.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Carol. Thank you for answering that question down in Allen. Carol, it was great to see you. And by the way, your volunteering does affect your retired life. It gets in the way. We were supposed to do lunch today. But
I know. We'll do lunch maybe next week. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I couldn't do it today. Every other Thursday, I'm out of pocket. So
people are not bored here. Put it that way, guys. We're always busy.
no, it's not
Thank
boring.
you very much for joining us,
Sure.
Carol. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you. And we'll be seeing you soon. Lunch next week. Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
Bye-bye. Okay, folks, and our next guest, we are very pleased to welcome to our stage our good friends,
Barry and Allie.
I'm going to call them long-time
guys.
Boquete residents. You guys have been here
Welcome.
3 years
Hello.
now. Hey,
2.5. So
2.5 years,
yeah,
yeah.
we're getting up there.
3 years, yeah. Cool. So how are you guys tonight?
Good. How are
Fantastic.
you?
Cool.
Great. They're cool because they're kind of on the edge of Boquete district.
Oh yeah, they're almost
in the warmest,
Francis.
yeah, Caldera, the warmest area.
Yes.
You know, of not indeed warm, but you have a pool. You enjoy the pool most days, right?
What's your neighborhood
yes.
called?
Boquete Canyon Village.
So they live, guys, way down here. I'm going to say
not
it's
bad.
about
15.
Oh, yeah, this is the checkpoint. And so this is you right here, Chiriquí Canyon Village.
What are you, 15 minutes from downtown?
About 22 minutes.
22
Well,
minutes, yeah.
It depends on who's driving. If I'm driving, she's 17 all the way.
Yeah, there we go.
My girl.
So tell us, you guys are Canadians, correct?
Yes.
Of course, I know
Yep.
that. And you came on a
Alberta.
tour with us just over 2.5 years ago, and you listened to our advice and you didn't follow it, and you bought something on the tour.
That's
Isn't that
right.
how it went? Yeah, it worked out.
Pretty much. We took the extra time and we stayed an extra week after the tour. And we'd been looking at this place for months online, and we seen it. We
Yeah.
checked it out twice, and it was just as good as we thought it was online. And so, yeah, we put the offer in before we ever went home.
Couldn't be
Sweet
happier.
deal, guys. They actually bought both sides of a duplex. Now they rent one side out, and it's great.
That's
Let
correct.
them rent the other out. Yeah, I hear your neighbors are a bit of troublemakers, though, right?
Oh, they are, but they're a little bit like us, unfortunately.
No, they're worse. They're way worse.
Oh, yeah, they're probably sitting in the room somewhere there, aren't they?
Actually, they're back.
Actually, another couple that came on tour with us.
Yes. Mhm.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
they're great.
Cool. Yeah, so we found your renters for you, in other words. Yeah, okay, we did.
We do.
Yes.
We like to help make connections.
So, what do you like about being out there, 15 to 20 minutes from downtown Boquete compared to being in town? Why did you decide to buy out there?
So we came from an acreage just northeast of Calgary. We had 8 acres out there. And one of the things that I didn't want to do is live in town. I know Ali felt the same way. Temperature was one of the key things as well. But we didn't want to move into a enclosed area. And we have all the amenities we have just at the 5-10 minutes away at Dorado's, which is a closed store. The construction store is there. We have Edgar's. It's got the vegetable stand right next to it. Very close to all those amenities. We have everything we need within just a hand notice away.
It's also really quiet coming from an acreage and having
That's right.
so much space around us. One of the reasons we loved this place is because when you look out our back, as you know, it's nothing but open fields and beautiful trees. And there's a cattle farmer that has his cattle right beside us. So it's kind of like going from an acreage to an acreage and getting all the peace at the same time. So it's very, very tranquil out
And
here,
plus having the neighbors right around us.
which was mandatory for me. That was a prerequisite I stated before we ever moved, was that I had to have the peace, but have neighbors just close enough. If something happened, I had someone to go to, and so did he.
Exactly.
And it's a great community because everyone does take care of each other here in Panama, and in these small communities, it's even tighter.
That's right. It is.
So and it's a little warmer there. You guys just put in a pool in your backyard, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And the invite's still out to you.
Boquete, not many people have pools because you're going to spend a fortune heating it.
Well, in this community, there's quite a number of pools, actually.
There's 6 or 8 of them.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
So
But-
you don't even need to heat it because the sun heats it by noon
Oh.
anyways.
Absolutely, yeah. And the further you go towards David, the hotter it gets. So it would be too hot for us to go further towards David. And coming towards Boquete, it's too cold for us because, well, we left the cold. We want to be somewhere hot.
We're babies.
Babies.
Yeah, you get the best of both worlds there because it heats up nice during the day, but it's still cool in the evening.
Absolutely. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you fill your time with? You guys are younger retirees, with Ali in her 30s and you in your 50s, Barry.
40.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we wish.
I know when you moved here, you had a lot of work. You were finishing off the other side of the house, but what do you do now, Barry? How do you keep yourself busy?
I played disc golf with Dan that you just had on there.
Yeah.
And he didn't happen to mention that I had a hole in one today, did he?
No, he did not mention that.
I thought we were friends, honestly.
Someone needs a cookie.
I need a cookie. But you know what? There's enough to do around the community here. We always get together with neighbors. Neighbors always want to get together. It's a neighborly type of environment that we kind of missed in our 60s and 70s back in Canada, where it was a neighborhood type of community. And this is what we have here. And people always want to get together here. Not to the point of being annoying, but to the point of going, let's have coffee, or let's have dinner together. Let's share a dinner together. We've done a lot of that in this neighborhood. It's been really quite wonderful. And as far as extra work, we built the garage here from ground up. We finished the rental side. That's all finished. All the landscaping's done. The rock walls, everything's all done. So now what do? Well, there's a little bit of maintenance to do yet. A little bit more around the pool. Then I got involved in home inspections about a year ago, because I used to do a lot of inspections with the oil and gas industry back in Canada, and now into real estate as well. So there you go.
Well, I wanted to bring that up. I was pushing that out of Barry. Yes, Barry is a buyer's agent, whatever you call it, not a real estate agent, but a buyer's agent for a very large real estate company in Panama. But that's because Barry and Allie came here on their Friendly Nations visa, which allows you to get a work permit. If you come here on a pensionado visa, you don't have that opportunity to get a work permit. So with Barry, with his ability and his very young age, he can continue
for this, don't you?
so he can continue doing some work. If any of you, the hundreds of people watching tonight, are interested in looking at something, let us know. We'll directly connect you to Barry.
Absolutely.
And he can show you, especially he really knows things. There's several gated communities like his around that, there's some good deals to be had right now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of deals out there. Everything from land purchases to small homes to large luxury homes. The choices are plentiful out there. And I know there's a lot of people from North America that are seriously considering moving down here and actually have taken action to do so, only because of what's going on there. And it's wonderful. We show them that they can have options here. It's not just a place to escape.
Well, and even if you're just interested in land, we have done so much construction.
Oh yeah.
That a good go-to for contractors or electricians, like anything like that. We kind of got our own list now of people that are really good and really reliable and trustworthy. So that's helpful for anybody. And it's whether you're purchasing land from him as a buyer's agent or just hanging out and you want to know something because you have something broke in your house. We're more than willing to share the information. That's one of the best parts about being in the expat communities is the knowledge sharing is unbelievable. Nobody gatekeeps. Everybody is more than willing to help everybody because we're all here for the same reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, we all want to protect each other. That's
right.
One of the big things, right? So, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So, what can you say? You've lived here 2.5, coming on 3 years. Are you planning your burial plots in this country? Like what's? Are you going to be here forever?
Well, we got a lot of space in the backyard here, so yeah.
That's what I thought you would do.
We have no intentions of leaving. And at first, I think the hardest thing was getting used to being this far from our family, from our children, our grandchildren. But, they've come down enough and they are just in love with Panama now themselves that we go back to Canada when we need to, but they are always coming to visit. So we do plan on, this is our forever place. We're not leaving.
That's right.
I'm too happy here. I'm too comfortable. And it's just given me everything that I personally want. I can't imagine leaving ever.
So we are entering your 3rd full rainy season. What do you think of the difference? Because it's really predominant in Boquete. We get 4 months with no rain. Then we get the rainy season. And we just had our first few showers in the last week.
Awesome.
How do you like it? I like it too. What do you think, Molly?
Yeah, I do love it. It's one of my favorite seasons because even in the rain here, I still get to go sit outside every night and enjoy the birds and watch the flowers open. And it's comfortable enough and warm enough that you don't have to ever hide from the rain. So I like it because it's a little bit cooler at night. So you can open up the windows and just breathe in that fresh air to sleep, but it's still warm enough that you can be outside all day and in the evening.
And the beautiful thing about it is you could almost set your watch to when it's going to rain.
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of rain, but it's in a short period of time most days.
that's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all of Panama houses are built for that. How many square feet of outdoor covered area do you guys have? Like,
Oh my
most-
gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they have these huge 4-foot long eaves all around your house. So, yeah, I can walk around my entire house and not get wet. Okay, some people at the beginning missed the area you were in. Say again the name of the community and where exactly, like how you find it.
It's Boquete Canyon Village, and we're only like 17 to 20 minutes away from the town of Boquete itself. So when you're coming down the highway going towards David or going on to Panama City, we're right before the check stop down the Caldera Road. And we're only about, I don't know, I think, 6 minutes down Caldera?
Oh, yeah. Depending who's driving and what you're driving. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you guys so much for coming on and meeting us. Barry, I got a couple people that are going to be contacting me for some information from you, so I'll just connect you by email to them.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
You know, before we go to anybody out there that's listening, I just got to say that one of the best things we did was take that retirement tour with you guys.
Yes.
We've been here over 2 years, and still to this day, I can send Megan a note or Oscar or Rod and say, hey, I need an optometrist. Where do I go? Or, you know, something happened with my dog. What's the best vet? I can message you guys about anything. And I think it's really important that everyone knows once you're in their lives, it's not only for the time that you work. We become friends, and you're still here for us always. And I think that's truly important that everyone should truly know that, because that has been a lifesaver for more than one person that I know personally. We all do still rely on you, and we are very grateful for you. And I think everyone needs to know that that connection doesn't stop.
That's right.
And a lot of companies are not like that, but you guys have been there the whole time, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's been a
Thank
blessing.
you guys so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
wish, we love getting updates and staying connected with you guys. Oscar and I have a 2-year-old, so maybe we don't reach out and see everybody as much as Rod can to go get coffee all the time, but we love when we get to see you guys around town, or if you come
Yes.
join us for dinner with
Always
the
a
group.
pleasure.
I
Yeah.
got two more last questions. How far are you from David?
If you're from the airport, it is 42 minutes to the airport directly. And I think it's about 36 to the actual closest hospital kind of thing.
And that's from your house, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah, from our house. Yeah.
30 from the main shopping centers for all the ladies out there. And yes, they do have some good shopping here. Just going to point that out.
Good shopping.
We've had a few people, and this always comes up. I've become more and more fond of Boquete Canyon Village with Barry and Allie living there now. But one of the things people bring up is the Boquete dump. Now, we told you guys about it. It's a mile on the other side of you. Have you noticed it since you've been there?
I think in the 2.5 years we've been here, we smelt it one day, and it's only because the winds just happened to catch it at the right time. We've never, ever had an issue with it. And that one time we did smell it, we still to this day aren't sure if that was the dump or if somebody was actually cooking something maybe not so good in the next community.
Maybe it wasn't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There is a dump. It's a mile downwind from the community. There's other residential places closer to it. It's really hasn't been an issue for most people living there. So
Not at all. We've been warned about it multiple times before we bought the property, and we just went, yeah, whatever. You know what? We're not going to worry about that being an issue, and it never has been an issue, ever.
alrighty. Well, we're bringing on, just so you guys know, our other guests. We're going to say a quick goodbye to them. Thank you for joining. And then we're going to answer your final general questions I saw here, folks. So we got about 5 minutes left that we can do that. So
Thank you,
guys,
everyone.
Dan and Alan.
Just so you know, I knew Barry would say something about that hole in one.
He needs a cookie. He
I need
really
a cookie.
does.
He made something. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And as I say, our website is on the screen. You click the contact button if you want to reach any of these people. That I will CC them in an email to you. And we don't give out, 1-800 call Barry phone number 24/7. But we will make an introduction, especially Barry with his contacts in real estate and stuff like that. You'll be happy to talk to anyone. So
You bet.
thank you, folks. And we're not saying goodbye yet. We are going to answer the rest of the questions, but have a good night, everybody.
Thank you to our expats. Such
Okay.
good info.
Question is, what might I expect to pay for a pensionado visa? Immigration lawyer is between $1,500 and $1,800 right now. That is the averages. Your other documentations, you're going to count on your translations, your stamps, the cards. Don't forget, the cards have gone up to $50 a piece now. So if you're a couple, you got to pay $100 for your temporary, $100 for your permanent. Your multiple entry fees, stuff like that. You're looking at about $400 to $500 for a single, and about $700 for a couple. So from the beginning, a single between $2,000, $2,500, a couple $2,500, $3,000. That's with everything, all fees, lawyers' fees, government fees, stamps, all that stuff. All these guys originally, no. James, you asked that in that timeline. They bought and rented. They bought a duplex where the Barry and Alley, where one side wasn't quite finished. It was about 70%, and Barry finished it, and now they rent it.
And our first expats on are renters.
Acquiring a car. Oscar is our expert on the car, folks. But you can buy new cars here. You can buy used cars. Owning a car here is really no different than owning a car in the States, except the procedure is different. We don't have Carfax. Very hard to check up on a used car. If you don't know the language, you're going to have a real challenge getting it titled, getting it insured properly, stuff like that. You could use some help. We can help you on that. We can hook you up with somebody to help you find a car. If you like, just go to retiredinpanamatours.com, click on the contact button.
Yeah, you definitely, if you're buying used, you want to have a really good mechanic looking at it.
Exactly. April, yes, they were great stories. Okay.
I think you got most of them.
Well, I'm going to answer some general ones.
Oh, there was
now.
somebody that kept asking about golf clubs and
golf. Golf memberships. There's only 2 in Chiriquí. There's only 2 golf clubs. Valley Escondido. It runs, I think, Oscar and I were there last month. I think it's $36 a round, but it's only a 9-hole. They have a $50 you can play all day. It is an executive course, so it's not like a par 3. So it's a nice course. Then you have Lucero, which is a very high-end architect design 18-hole professional course. Its membership runs about $3,800 last time I checked, or its green fees were $108. So golf is not cheap here. There's not a lot of it. It's not as popular as most people would think. But that's how to get a referral. Again, retiredinpanamas.com. Click contact, please. Connect me to Barry on tonight's call. Where they live. Acquire a car. Okay, there it is. There we go. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom. We have a couple here. Can you rent out your property? Oops. What is the best time of year to take the tour? I don't know if there's a best time of year. If you really want to be exposed to the weather, do it April through September, type thing. If you come in October, November, which we typically sell out for, like you're going to see rain almost every day, but it's still usually afternoon rain.
Yeah.
If you don't want to see any rain, you want to enjoy the sunshine for the whole time you're here, come January, February, March. Okay.
But April through September is a good time. It's green season, so you'll see a few rains a week probably, but still have lots of sunshine.
Yeah, good question. Christy, can you rent out your property on a retirement visa? You can rent out your own property. If you built 6 Airbnb cottages and started running them and renting them out without proper licensing and paying taxes, you're not legally working if you're renting out your properties. So it's not that. It's whether or not you should be declaring the income is the big thing. You can own a business, being a pensionaire.
Yes.
You can own a restaurant. You just can't wait tables or do the dishes. You can order the food. You can manage the bank account, hire and fire staff. You can do ownership stuff, but it just gets a little.
They don't want you to be taking jobs away from Panamanians. Rather, if you're generating jobs, then that's benefiting.
Hey, Mark and
the
Monica,
economy.
how are you? Hey, Mark and Monica, I have a $28 a month plan with mailbox, etc. And I bring in enough to justify that. It covers the first 2 kilograms of everything, whether it's, so letters cost pennies because they weigh 5 grams. Packages, the first 2 kilograms is free. I get a box on the wall with a key. And after that, I pay 1.1 cents a gram. So if I bring in, let's say, this book and it weighs 500 grams, which is 1 pound, 2 ounces, I pay $5.50, 500 grams. I don't pay 2 pounds, or I don't pay like whatever someone else might charge me. So I find it works really well if you bring in 1 or 2 packages at least every week. Okay, thank you. There we go. That picture I actually took myself. This is in Chamay. It's not an official beach with a name. Chamay is that peninsula.
Punta Chamay?
Yeah, Punta Chamay, between Panama City and the Coronado area. If you look at a map, it sticks way down. It's miles and miles of beach like that. You can see in the forefront is a shadow of a person that's Phoenix when he was 5. This is years ago when Oscar and me and Megan were doing some checking down there at places. There are different companies in different areas of the country that do property management for rental sharing. So yes, if you need exact contact, give us all the details to retiringpanamatours.com, contact us page, and we will do it. When is the, okay. Someone typed in, are there Black expats? Yes, we have lots of African-American people living here, Caribbean American people, expats. We have lots from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Jamaica, Africa,
Gosh.
everywhere. Yeah.
Of course.
There are tons.
Lots that have come on tour with us and
tours.
moved here happily living in Panama.
Okay.
There was, I saw one more question at the very end.
Good question. How difficult is it to build from scratch? Difficult is not the right word. Challenging is the right word. And if you're up for that challenge, and if you're going to be here when the build is going on.
And slow?
Yeah, slow. Whatever, if they say 8 months, it's going to be 12 to 16.
Yeah.
And not all disciplines work with each other. We had one of those situations where the owner was told 8 months, it was 12 to 14, but it took another 8 months to turn his electricity on, because that's a different department. Those people weren't talking for a long time.
That's your architect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you see anything else?
But at the very end, there was one.
Very end. Okay.
Any chance of combining a retirement tour with Spanish classes? Yes, we've had many tour guests do this where
Mm-hmm.
they come on our tour and then stay for a week or more after the tour and do a full immersion Spanish
Yeah,
course.
and Oscar and Megan will speak Spanish to you on the entire tour.
Happy to do that.
Yeah. All right. I think we got it all. It's great. I love these Meet the Expats. We're going to meet 3 couples or singles from
The
somewhere
beaches.
between Chamay and Tennessee.
Pacific Coast.
Yeah, Pacific Coast beaches next week.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Again, Ellen, Dan, Carol, Barry, Ellie.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys. We'll
Thanks for
talk soon.
joining.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Buenas